Hey everyone, TheKiest here. This is a video I was supposed to make a while back about Game Arena. For those who aren't aware, Game Arena is the esports center here in Columbus, up at Hilliard. It is ran by a very talented businessman by the name of Justin. I can't pronounce your last name, Justin, so sorry about that, but who has multiple sponsors and investments that they were able to create a around like 70 to 80 PC cafe, all with like very high-tech gear, including chairs, microphones, and headsets, keyboards, mice, so on, while still having a private room for like gaming. As far as console gaming goes, a private room for like little parties and stuff, and a stage area that's completely soundproofed off. That also has commentary and stuff, all while serving their own food and their own alcohol at the said venue and stuff. It's been very successful since it's opened, I think a few years now. Not 100% on the date. I'm really bad at that kind of stuff. Mostly getting its income from younger players playing games like Fortnite and League and other stuff like that, since a lot of kids, including myself, did not have great gaming PCs, so instead just go here and play for an hour or so. So pretty good with that. And currently we have our main Smash Ultimate Weeklies there, and we've also ran some FGC events there, but kind of the biggest problem was the location. Hilliard is not central Columbus, so for some people like myself it's about a 5 to 10 minute drive, and for others it'd be about a 40 to 50 minute drive. So never really stuck as like the event we could gather at, but the news is, and it's true news, I can now talk about this, is there is a location opening in the campus area, more specifically at Gateway. They're planning for a fall release. I say fall release because, you know, no offense to them, it's, you know, that they'd rather have a successful opening than not. We had other openings for the previous Game Arena dates, but they didn't meet them. And, you know, it's a goal, so if it's not open right at the fall, it's, you know, it's going to be just only a few months away or something like that. So with the location being better, potentially they can start running more events that cater to us. I was asked several times what it would take for people to not go to Donato's. Well, I don't want to say not go to Donato's, but kind of like shift kind of for the main venue. And I know that it's not the main venue for every scene, but it's kind of been the flagship for getting into the FGC and to Smash in general. Like, hey, just come to Donato's, and then you can kind of get a little buffet over what you want to try, and then we can direct you towards a Burst and Brew, or towards 16-bit, or towards where the Melee Weeklies are, and all that fun stuff. So pretty much I told Justin the same thing I'm saying now, is ultimately, as always, it depends on the scene, not the runners. Could have been that guy who goes, hey, we're going here, we're doing it, you're gonna love it, even though you've never been there before, even though what we have is great. Nah, we're not about that here. The goal is, it's whatever the players prefer, as well as the, you know, the leaders of the individual groups and things. For me, I kind of do Street Fighter. I'm sorry, not Street Fighter. I do mostly Tekken these days. Street Fighter is kind of taken care of very well at 16-bit, so I more just run things when people can't make it to 16-bit. So as far as Tekken goes, yeah, it's up to the Tekken guys. If they want at Game Arena campus, then we move our stuff to Game Arena campus. But realistically, here's what needs to happen. And this is the part, these are the parts I told Justin back then, is, and I'll kind of type it here. So this is currently what Donato's has. That's a really, you know, we'll go with the pros, right? So biggest pro is it's free venue, and I put this with a star because technically there is a cost to Donato's. It depends on our group as a whole spending money, which we're able to easily do every week, but you know, ideally it'd be nice if we got more, because I actually found out that's kind of the reasons we get overbooked, is because they're bringing in people who get better business than we do. Not that we don't give them any business, but it's just one of those things. We're there every week, and they'll get a group that's there once every 2 months or something, but that once every 2 months thing, they can hire bartenders that are definitely going to be drinking down the place while they do concerts and stuff. We are not doing that, which again isn't a problem, but just the little things here, just kind of clarifying. So you got the pre-venue, we've got the space, you know, we're able to fit like around 100 people there. We also have the setup space, which, let's see, old Donato's had around, I can max out at 32. I think with this venue I can max out at around 45 to 50, depends on how cramped we want to be. We can keep cords there. You know, you got your, I mean, it's a bar. The hours are okay. And, you know, we've got a stream and stuff. When we get to the cons, though, you know, this is where you start running into, like, you got the parking issues. You've got early close. I guess I'm putting this in differently because 6 hours is a very long time for a weekly, I think, when you kind of compare it to other places in the country, unless they actually own the venue. Like, don't count Wednesday night fights or Xanadu or anything like that, because, again, they own their places. We don't. I think 6 hours is amazing every week. Kind of wish more people could come earlier, but that's, you know, that's just the life of it. So yeah, I think midnight's kind of an early close, considering, just, again, this is more from a local perspective. Most of our players in the FGC, and I think in Smash as well, they probably wouldn't mind going a little later, depending on, like, maybe not as much as Smash because they're all college kids, but when it's summer and stuff, and, you know, you only work on weekends, you know, it might be better for that kind of stuff. I'd probably leave earlier myself because I got to work the next day, but I think that's just kind of the other thing. We're kind of like rushing to get out at midnight. We could always fit more stuff or do more streaming and stuff. You know, the stream, I'll put stream setup there because, like, while we can technically stream, it's not the greatest. Yeah, I'll just put, like, bare minimum. Like, we can stream. The stream's not bad. It's streamable. We can record okay. Sometimes we don't stream. Sometimes we just record. Sometimes it's good enough for 2 streams, sometimes it's good enough for 0 streams, kind of depends on the traffic that day, but, you know, get the stream set up going. So, in other words, I think Game Arena needs to beat all of this in order for this thing to really want to move, because, you know, if people aren't spending money now, and then they suddenly have to go to a place where they do have to spend money, it's a little different. Game Arena for Smash is different, because it's kind of like where the main competition is, and I think the scene is, in a total, has kind of grown a bit. They've also cut down the venue fee since FGC players were there and stuff, but it's all things that kind of add up. I don't like using that example, too, because if we chose to make Donato purely Smash, I'm pretty sure it would get the same numbers, if not more, because of there being free venue and because of the location on top of everything. So we'll just go down the list of what Game Arena can do. And this is the part where I think it's all subjective. Obviously, it all depends on a lot of different things on Game Arena's end. For example, you know, we don't know what their day-to-day is going to be like. They might literally not be able to host us because they're just that packed with regulars. Which means if we were to run a fight night there, we would have to rent the place, and then that's when you start going into the higher venue fees for a weekly. It might even be very difficult just to get this for tournaments for a monthly, like it is already with the Dublin area. We were not going to know, so, you know, I'm just going to put pending with all this, because I think, honestly, even if we were to want to make a full switch as a scene, I would highly recommend we wait 6 months before doing so. Like, wait till the summer comes when OSU's not as busy. Or, you know, wait for one of them to contact us, like, okay, yeah, we kind of think this date might be good with you guys, if it's good with you guys. Again, we're not going to know until it actually happens, so I'll kind of go down the list. So venue fee, from kind of what, again, everything I'm going to say going forward is all speculation from small talks. It's not anything guaranteed. Business models change daily because of different charts and revenues. I can't go into it because I'm not a business person. And I'm sure most people watching this aren't either. Justin is extremely good because he was able to get a LAN center like this up. For those who didn't know, this is probably might be the 8th I've heard of since I've been doing TOing more focused in Columbus since 2010. And his actually succeeded, like actually got off the ground and stuff. So he's very well prepared. He definitely knows what he's doing with this stuff. We want to be expanding, and that's the other thing. He's also got to the point where he got a second location out of this too. So, pretty much the thing he hit it on with venue fee is we could do something similar. I don't know if it would be a group thing, but it's one of those, like, you either, like, you know, pay venue at the door or, like, order something. and that might cover your venue or something. The catch with that in Donato's is that Donato's technically, if I buy $20 worth of food, that's kind of getting three other people's venue if it was a $5 venue. And then some people don't have to pay at all, whereas in this model, some people would have to pay. Supposedly, with the alcohol sales, they might not need to do that with us, which if that was the case, that'd be great. That means they'd be doing it more as a charity for the scene, just to get more people in, which is fantastic. I believe they've already kind of proven that they will make sacrifices for the community if it gets people to use the place and spread the name around and stuff, and we see that with the Smash Ultimate Weeklies. Again, they chose to cut their venue fee down a bit, and now they're getting the 80 to 90 a week or something. I have no idea what kind of the money they're making off of the food that's being bought or stuff. I can't comment on any of that. They shouldn't either if they watch this. But the point is, it's kind of the same thing with Donato's. It might become a point where enough people buy stuff that other people necessarily don't have to every week. That would be kind of the dream there. So that's one concern, and my biggest concern is this one here, is space. Okay, so Game Arena Hilliard is huge, but only some space for FGC, which is rightfully so, because the place is supposed to be a LAN center first, because that's the primary way they're making their money. So naturally, when we do events there, we're kind of in the corner, or we're in the stage. But that's probably maybe a third of the space total. If we wanted more space, which again they'd be willing to accommodate, we'd be starting to go into that renting territory, and that's when you start, having to pay a lot more. We didn't use Momos for a lot of weekend events because of how much we'd have to rent the place to cover the business loss for renting said place. And that's what the Seasons Beatings crew had to do. This was in the thousands or $10,000s of dollars, depending on the time of the year and stuff. It gets kind of nuts. I don't think Game Arena ever charged something like that with us, but the point is that it starts getting away from why this place is better from a weekly perspective. Yes, obviously we'll want to run quarterly or monthly events here. It all depends on scenes and stuff. They'll have a lot of stuff we'll want. I just don't see it for a weekly thing per se. Just based off of these 2 points so far, they have to be better than Donato's. If they're equal, I don't know if it's as good. If they're equal, then we already have it all well established. People are already still going there. Yes, you'll have the better stream stuff, but I'll kind of get to that in the next part. So we got the stream stuff. And one thing I like about Donato's is it's not just a gateway for players, it's a gateway for TOs. And I'll just kind of expand this out into organization. I'm actually going to move this over because I keep moving my right hand around and stuff, and I should not be doing that. So apologies for some quick video editing here. Then word wrap on, because I like to type a lot. Oh, now I'm gonna have to remember. This is where I start using this hand, and it goes behind the box and stuff. Yes, I spelled organization wrong. If you know that's spelled wrong, but you still know what I meant, then it doesn't matter. So pretty much, when it comes to, again, this is Donato's grassroots, and I'll kind of put this back into the thing here. So the problem with the organization running stuff, and I like Outer Haven a lot, but this is kind of the flaw that gets into it, is you can only really be a volunteer if you want to help an organization. You can't actually be the runner, and you can't really be trained for it unless you commit to something more than you might be ready for. I've seen oftentimes too many organizations go, hey, we're looking to train some assistant TOs, and then people who've never TO'd before are like, yeah, you know what, that looks fun, I'm going to do it. And then all of a sudden they're committed to like 3 major events as far as that stuff goes, and they find out week 2 that they really don't even like it that much, but they're kind of stuck with this, and if they back out, then it's kind of on them all of a sudden. I don't think it's exactly that exaggerated, but I'm just trying to get at is, like, unlike us with the Donato's, if you want to run an event And for those who don't know, you just kind of ask us, and we'll go, all right, run next week. Let's see how you go. And then you'll find out quick if you like it, and you can literally just stop on the spot. Personally, I like running multiple brackets at the same time because I'm kind of just like bracket running that much. I know it seems weird, but I kind of give people the chance to just kind of do their own thing, and that's kind of how we have so many TOs right now. So, you know, we would have less opportunity for that to happen because they would want to use their own staff to do so. And anytime you get into business organization stuff, it's a little more difficult with, or awkward with pay. Donatos, we don't charge. I mean, we're not making anything in Donatos. It's all just entries and stuff. But then when you're working for a business, you're not really an employee if you're doing volunteer, so you're not really getting anything. And then you're watching everyone else get something, and then you're watching 90 people pay venue or indirectly pay venue. It gets messy. It's technically just, again, it's one of those minor things that might make this place better. So, you know, it's less opportunity for TOs, and more importantly, it's less opportunity for streamers. They stream everything in-house. Means Matchstick wouldn't be able to stream it. He might be able to do VODs at the best, maybe, but again, they're going to want their channel. You know, maybe they'll work out a deal where occasionally Matchstick is the one who gets the stream, but and then, you know, there's the streamers after Matchstick. We had an excellent streamer before Matchstick, but life caught up with him immediately, and he kind of had to quit for personal reasons that I don't think that's going to happen to Matchstick, but it could. Any day now, it could. He could just decide, you know what, I'm done with this. I just can't do this right now. Or other more important life events are coming up, and then we don't have a streamer like Matchstick. So then we would want to grow a new streamer, and you won't be able to grow them at Game Arena unless, again, you are willing to pay up for something versus just, you know, trying it and stuff. But the one thing I'll definitely give credit to Game Arena that they would be able to do Donatos doesn't is, I think, more commentator training. Because while we do have commentary at Donatos, because the stream setup is not as great, it doesn't flow as well, so it's kind of difficult to commentate while playing, while kind of being in the corner. Like, it's a great atmosphere, flair to it, but what I like about Game Arena with Smash Ultimate, and if you can find their VODs on Manakete Gaming YouTube channel, you can watch on the original Game Arena week ones and see commentators from there and how much they've improved in the next few months because they've been in an isolated booth with the same people. Yeah, they're leveling up. Like, we're getting good commentators of that. We could have that here too. Obviously, the biggest pro, if we do go to Game Arena, is going to be parking. Now, for those wondering, where are you going to park at Gateway? Well, many places at Gateway will validate parking, so you go in and you get your ticket. Oh, sorry, I did it again. You get your ticket, and normally you would keep the ticket until you leave, and then when you leave, you slip it through and you pay and stuff. Instead, Game Arena, if you prove that you were there, they would validate your parking, essentially. Stamp ticket. You still do it when you leave, and it just, you don't pay anything and stuff. Most of the theaters do that. Most of the other long-term stuff do that. Well, I shouldn't say most of the theaters, but there are places that could do it. They could do something similar with us. I have a feeling in order for them to do so, that's when it starts going into this thing. And then that's kind of the trade-off that the scene has to make. I would put it equal because, again, personally, I've never had parking problems with Donatos. I get there early enough, and even when I do get there late enough, I just know the area. I usually park on Lane Avenue if everything's crowded because actually, believe it or not, Lane Avenue is not metered at all after 6. Sometimes I go to Summit. I don't mind the walk, but anyways, so I'm either paying with, like, distance. Do it again. I'm either paying with distance or I'm paying with, like, the risk, I guess, of getting towed in these free spockings. And, maybe that's to some people worth the $5 parking. Just maybe. So, I'm going to kind of put them in par. But more importantly, you'll always be able to find it. Might have to pay for it. Maybe the garage is full. I don't know what kind of business they're going to get or if there's going to be new garages added to the area. I'm not that familiar with the exact spot or what it's going to look like in, what is it now, like 4 or 5 months or something. So there's that. So, okay, so keeping the cords, technically we wouldn't need to, but we could keep stuff there. They're okay with all that stuff. Obviously, it's got a bar. It's going to have different alcohol choices that may or may not be more expensive. I think they're going to, again, speculating here based on what they were talking about, I think they're going to focus a lot more on the bar aspect at this campus one. So I'll even put this here as well. Alright, parking I'll just put here of expense versus risk kind of a thing. So you can either go risky and cheaper at Donato's, or you can go more expensive and less risky at Game Arena. But that still beats getting your car towed or forgetting to have to pay meter and all that stuff. Just convenience, I guess. Yeah, I'll just even put expense versus risk. Yeah, expense and convenience. Yeah, you guys get the idea if you heard it. So I think for the bar, it's going to be more like a bar because it's on campus. They're going to be trying to grab people Saturday night and get them in there, I guess. I hope they have safeguards with expensive computers and drunk people, especially if they're going to be that close to the gateway and stuff. But again, this arcade seem to be okay with it, but arcade's a little more durable, so we'll find out. I'm sure they all have plans and stuff, but the point is that there'll be a better selection here than the Game Arena up north, and maybe even a better selection than what Donato's has. And then, you know, you've already got your food. Both places are about the same. You know, food's just going to be equal. Can only buy their stuff. Maybe they get an agreement with like a restaurant next to them to allow their things as well. Donato's has sometimes done that. I've usually told people to ignore it because I don't want... I'm sure an employee would be okay if you brought a UDF shake downstairs, but I don't want players to see UDF shakes and then think that they should no longer buy anything at Donato's, and that's when we start getting, you know, double booked like that stuff. So that's more of me as an event organizer. So again, you know, support the stuff. Then obviously I think hours would be better, but I don't know. So like, you know, sometimes Game Arena Thursdays will end at like midnight, but there's no like hard date. I don't know when they'd be able to start. It's kind of, again, up to the scene. So I'm just going to kind of put equal here, but no deadline. It means they could kind of start sooner too for those scenes who really want to start. Like, I don't know if there's any enough to see right now, but then maybe there's a group of you guys that prefer to start at 7:30 like Burst and Brews and get your events done. Some of you might prefer to start as late as 9:30, 10. Don't know. You'd probably be able to do both. And then I guess that kind of comes down to, so we already know the stream's going to be a lot better. I'm not even going to, well, I'll list it here to be fair. So, you know, we got the stream set up. Probably I'll just put 10,000 times better. That sounds about right. I mean, we're going to have commentator booths. We're going to have stream overlays already there. They're going to be advertising stream on their end. They have their own Twitch. They have their own streamers. Just have to do commentary signups. I wouldn't mind even making more informal commentary training and stuff to kind of help people level up on that aspect. We got the stage. There's a lot of things going for it as far as that stuff goes. But again, that starts kind of going into, you know, if they're paying a streamer, then they have to be making that money in order to pay the guy. That's where the kind of the venue fee and the sales starts going up and stuff. So again, all this is kind of, again, really, it all depends on Game Arena doing how their location's doing and what they can give away for us, or what they're going to try to give for us. Even though, no offense to FGC, we're not really giving money. We're just not, compared to like people that are there to pay per hour on the PCs, people there that are there to drink with their friends while playing console games, like just for fun. Less players, competitive players, drink when they're playing because they want to like try to win and stuff, and then they feel that they're already paying a and then, you know, from a consumer standpoint, you're already paying like entry fee and venue fee, and Game Arena is not getting any of the entry fee, which, you know, luckily they aren't. But again, it's just one of those, less money is coming in their direction versus if they just have normal business hours during the week, especially during when school's in session. We have no idea. Don't know if that's also going to divide the traffic. So if less people go to Hilliard because the OSU one exists, but then again, more kids have been going there anyway. I also don't know how often people are going to go to Game Arena versus gaming at their own, you know, schools, or sorry, in their own dorms and stuff. It kind of all depends on the LAN center part of it. It also depends on how much they make it more like a bar versus making it a LAN center. I don't know. I just don't know I don't know what their business model is going to be at this place versus the Hilliard one, and that's going to really determine everything, I think. So I think I've kind of covered my thoughts on everything. Setup space I didn't mention because I don't know. So Game Arena Hilliard can do roughly 20 to 30, depending on which private rooms we get and if we do other setups in the stage room. You can get more than that if you rent out the areas where they have PCs and stuff, but again, that's day to day and things. And yeah, I don't know how much room they're going to dedicate to consoles when people might not be mostly doing consoles. I don't know. Especially because they're already kind of competing on this. Like, if I want to go play with my buddies on a console game, I can go to one of the many barcades that don't charge you to do so. You might have to wait in line, you might not have a great game selection, but I can go to Old North, hop on the Dakota bus for free or take an Uber and get, and play Halo with my friends without paying anything. But if Game Arena, I have to pay to get in, or I have to pay to, like, rent the controller, or I have to at least buy a drink or something. There's all these what ifs. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I can't speak for how they're going to do things. They'll either respond to this or you'll just find out in the fall. I kind of more made this to express my thoughts to not just FTC, but to Game Arena as well, because I know they'll be asking me about this now that we have a date. So yeah, comment on this post, whether it's on the YouTube link or the Facebook groups I'll be spamming this to momentarily, and we'll see what we want to do. Maybe there's always the idea that we can do both. I'll just tell you up front that if we do have both, I will stay with Donato's until we are no longer going to the Donato's. I just can't do multiple a week myself. So if Tekken decides they don't want to do it at Donato's, then Tekken will then not be at Donato's, and I'll just keep running whatever still is at Donato's. Just because it's kind of the venue I helped start with. I feel like I'm the captain of the ship, and I'll go down with it. As long as people want to go to it, then I'll stay with it and keep running stuff. Obviously I'd go to Game Arena for some of the weeklies anyway, but if I'm as a player, maybe, but not every time though. And yeah, I'm kind of thinking Wednesdays is probably the best date if they needed one, because Tuesdays is Donato's versus Transition, Thursdays is Burst and Brews, and the Smash Ultimate weeklies, which that I have no idea if they would move. I hope they do move it, because they'll get a lot more people. Maybe they could even have two of them, because I don't know how many Hilliard players are just Hilliard players, but I also don't know if the OSU Smash Ultimate scene would stop going to Hilliard if there was a fall one. Probably. I'm just assuming. There's really diehard competitors that do travel to all five if they can, so I don't know. Again, it's all up to the scene of the TOs and what Justin and the others see when they're running these events and stuff. I don't know who's managing it down here. I don't know who's going to be the esports coordinator. Like the player XYK is currently for the Hilliard one. He runs most of the scheduling of any of the esports related things that we do, including Smash and FGC related stuff. I have no idea if he's going to be doing both, or if they're going to have someone else, or what. No idea of the management stuff. Again, Game Arena doesn't need to answer all this stuff. It's just all these little things have to not only work, but they have to work better than this, because we already have it. And that's kind of going to take a jump, and I don't know if every player will want to take a jump. Maybe all of them take the jump, and that's cool and all, but just based on what I've seen in the past, getting people to switch over to a new venue when there's already a free one, and it's already kind of does practically everything we want, and again, we get the freedom of running whatever we want at these events. Pretty much at the Game Arena, we can definitely choose what games to run. They'd be cool with that. They actually prefer knowing what our schedule is, because they want the competitive side to go so they can impress the casuals to want to enter the scene and stuff. But I don't know if they'll be able to do 5 or 9 every 2 weeks like we do. And again, just the training on this, like, I'm sure they would offer it, and they might make something that does counterpoints on everything here. So I think I'll wrap this up because it's about a half hour. So yeah, again, give your comments here. Hope you all enjoy, and a happy fight night, everyone. Peace.